They're one of the greatest villains in Skyrim, but they are right. The Thalmor are completely right about everything. So I'm probably getting a lot of people mad at me for saying this. They're like the ultimate villains, aside from Alduin, who we are trying to defeat. But here's the thing. The Thalmor actually have a point with their worldview, in my opinion. That makes far more sense than what the Dragonborn is doing. So let's take a look at Elder Scrolls lore about the origins of the universe and the origins of the gods. Basic summation: essentially the Aedra created Nirn, and when the other deities realized that they're going to be trapped in this plane of existence, they fled. That's the origin of the sun and the stars, and the deities who remained stayed on Nirn. Now, there is debate between human beings and elves, but whether this should be seen as something that's should be seen as something that's positive or negative. I actually think there's a lot more evidence to think that they're right about Nirn, the creation of Nirn, being a negative thing. In spite of what the Dragonborn might be doing, and yay, he's defeating Alduin. Yeah, there's a lot more it's simply problematic. Everything else is problematic. So let's take a look at whether or not the Aedra were freely created the world, whether they were tricked into doing so. So, for starters, a lot of the existence of the Daedra, i.e., there were so many Daedra who realized what was happening and just fled. Like, there were, 8 original divines, and Talos became the 9th later on. And look at how many stars there are in heaven. That is a lot of potential Aedra who said, no, this is crazy, we're gone. So based on the sheer statistics, if you want to do a simple vote among the divine beings as to whether or not the creation of Nirn was a positive thing, the Aedra are in they're severely the minority. They're an extreme minority. What's more, even among the Aedra themselves, in their future treatment of Lorkhan, it simply does not match a positive view of Nirn. So what happened to Lorkhan afterwards? By all accounts, he was eventually slain, his bodies were torn asunder, etc. And by most of the Aedra. If the creation of Nirn was such a positive thing that the Aedra themselves thought was wonderful, then why on earth was Lorkhan executed in such a horrific fashion? You think that there would be gratitude for creating Nirn if it was indeed seen as a good thing by the Aedra themselves. Clearly, this is not the situation. And it's not like you can simply say that coming down and the loss of this exalted role of being among the Aedra and the Daedra was a good thing. Otherwise, why worship Talos? Like, why would Talos even want to become an Aedra? Clearly, you want to be something that's higher. You want to be something that's more than what you are. You want to be more than mortal, more than man. That's why Talos worship is so important to even the Nords themselves, who do have a positive view of Nirn. So, based on all that evidence, the elves are correct in seeing Nirn as a prison. The elves' position has a lot more going for it based on evidence in the lore. So, furthermore, while I think there's certain contradictions with the elves and the Thalmor and their treatment of the Nords, like, true, the Nords might be lesser versions of themselves, even if you accept their theory. That being said, they are lesser than the Aedra, and Aedra are lesser than the Daedra. Which, by the way, in my personal opinion, Daedra worship makes a lot of sense in this world, as they are like the highest rung you could possibly ever achieve. The Thalmor are aiming to be Aedra in a certain sense, and the Aedra are aiming to be Daedra. It simply does. While they're racist against the Nords, the Nords are a lesser species. The Nords are essentially just fallen, just like them, just a little bit more. And even if the Nords are fallen, they just fell a little bit further than the Aedra. And the Aedra are trying to help elevate the human beings. Aedra and they're trying to elevate the man and mer. And even the Daedra are doing so. So that's one thing I have to disagree with the Thalmor, is the racist policies. Ironically, though, their plans to utterly destroy Nirn and bring the whole universe to an end, actually, as crazy as it sounds from a lore perspective, makes a whole whack of sense. Yeah, anyway, that's my controversial take on Elder Scrolls lore today. Why the Thalmor are right, at least about the origin of the universe, and probably breaking free from Nirn as a prison and taking extreme measures to do so. Not so much their extreme racism against Nords, and ironically enough, their own position about aiming to be free of Nirn, and that it's possible to become free of Nirn. It just proves that Talos worship is doable, even more, ironically enough. But yeah, that's my take. So what are your thoughts? Are the Thalmor right about at least the origin of the universe? Do you notice any other consistencies and Thalmor logic that I've mentioned? What do you think? God bless. Have a great day.